Okay, I have attendees all joining in. Thank you everyone for joining. I know I just posted the link today morning, and I know a lot of you have a lot of questions. So Attorney Murali is here to help answer your questions. Okay, there are people watching on the Facebook group. All right, let's get going, Murali. Hello,
Sure.
everyone. I have Attorney Murali Basham from bashamglobal.com. We have been doing live webinars even before the days of Zoom and everything. And pretty much for every major event, I have come live, or before Zoom was there, we did Webinar Jam. Before Webinar Jam, we did Skype recording. I literally record interview with Attorney Murali, edit it and publish it into YouTube because back then there was no live option. So more than 10 years. And today we also have another major news. And I really appreciate Attorney Murali for doing this on a Saturday. I don't think we have ever done anything on a weekend, Murali, in all these years. But
I don't think so.
yeah, but looking at this massive change that just came out yesterday, so we are here, and I have a lot of attendees joining this call, and we'll try to answer as many questions as we can. And the goal is to answer the uncertainties that you are having so that travel, visa renewals, and whatnot can be taken care. And Murali, do you want to do the disclaimer?
Well, the disclaimer is that this is not legal advice, right? So we're doing a webinar and trying to help everybody. Um, and so can I say a few things, Raghu, real quick?
Sure. Yeah, let's like quick 60-second. Let's get started and going. Yeah.
Okay. Number one, I feel for everybody who's like, because I've been on the phone, with clients and, companies and everybody else from very early this morning, as a lot of immigration attorneys have been, and, people are very stressed out. And it sucks, for lack of a better word. But our goal here is to help you understand everything and to hopefully try to calm everybody down a little bit on this. So I'll start with that, and Rugby, if you want to start.
Sure. And this webinar is live streamed on Facebook. We are also having a lot of attendees attending the live session. And I may also upload this into other social platforms once the webinar is done. And I will try not to say the names of the attendees when you're asking the questions. Maybe we'll try to use the initials. And there will be also opportunity for you to come live and speak up and ask your questions with Attorney Murali. At that point, your name might be also be visible. All right. So, having said that, Murali, in quick, what has happened? What is the news about? In a quick 60 seconds, could you give a quick rundown of what are we dealing with?
All right. Here's what we're dealing with. Executive order last night, of course, Friday evening is what they like to do. Here's the deal. Number one, it does not apply to people who are in the US on H-1B status. It does not impact, this $100,000 fee, does not impact H-1B extensions, H-1B amendments, H-1B transfers, all of those things, it does not impact that. So or even it does not impact lottery cases where if you're on F1 OPT here in the US and want to do a change of status, if you get selected in the lottery, it does not impact that. So all of those groups do not worry about it so far. Um, it impacts people who are doing consular processing on an H-1B. I think what the government is trying to do is actually reduce the lottery numbers and from people outside the US by imposing this $100,000 fee. I think that's what they're trying to do. And the problem with that is the way the executive order is written. on the H-1B piece, and Rugger, you and I will talk about the other executive order later, but on the H-1B piece is that now there's a lot of confusion on people who are already on H-1B status, who've already traveled outside the US, and what's going to happen with them coming back to the US. Now that's a huge issue, and that's where we're getting a lot of calls. But we'll talk about that in a second. But yes, it definitely will impact brand new H-1B petitions for people who are outside the US. Those brand new H-1B petitions will have to have $100,000, I guess, as Trump would say it, check attached to it.
And what about people who are right now, say in India, on H-1B? Can they enter the US?
All right. So that's the problem is that those folks don't know. And the attorneys are taking the cautious approach on this, which is the executive order is not written the right way on that. It just says everybody outside the US. So we're taking a cautious approach and saying, just wait. I personally think you probably can. If you already have a visa stamp and all of that, you have a approved petition, visa stamp, you probably can. But is it worth taking that risk right now? Uh, our advice is just to wait a few days and let's just see what happens with all this on an interpretation standpoint. There might be an injunction on this too. I'm sure, there's going to be a lot of lawsuits on this because it comes down to, what's the power of the president versus power of the Congress when it comes to the immigration, piece of it.
Okay. Um, so which means if somebody is trying to rush to come in, instead of if you're already in plane, if you're going to land it today, you probably will not have any problem. But if you plan to land, if you are in mid-air, your landing is tomorrow,
Yeah.
then please do come back to share your experience, what happened at port of entry, because that's the only way we'll be able to know what's happening with the CBP officers and what instructions they were given about somebody who's entering on H-1B. You already had renewals or stamping. So we probably will get first-hand information if somebody is coming in tomorrow.
And I've told clients the same thing, which is if you're going to do it, let us know. And because that's the only way to know. This is so new for everybody. That's the only way to know is through experience. I think it'll be okay, but our advice is to, if you can stay put at least for, 3, 4 days.
Okay. There are a lot of questions, Murli, so let's probably answer a couple of questions. Before the questions, what about H-4 visa holders? That is also another question. Still uncertain.
It's uncertain, but I don't see anything that would prevent that. Again, we're going on executive orders, which are like a page and a half, 2 pages. I mean, they're very, the language there is not specific. But I would say H4 would be okay. But at the same time, right now, if you're an H4 right now with travel plans outside the US, my advice would be just to not do it.
Okay.
And let's just wait and see.
Okay. And what is an executive proclamation? And how does this translate into what a CBP officer will do or what an visa consular officer will do, Murli?
That executive piece in Congress, this is a different, okay, so this is a different administration. This is not the same Trump administration that was there, the first 4 years, Um, how people do things and how everything, happens with all of this is very, very different. And what I see is if, like, if a Department of State officer, they're under the federal government as well. And I think that all of these government officials are going to actually comply with what the executive proclamation is going to say. And so maybe. So we just have to see how it
Okay.
all,
So basically, whatever it's on the proclamation
yeah.
will get translated into a language specific to CBP officers or
I
consular.
don't
Is that how that happens?
I don't think they're going to know all of this
Within a day or two.
so quickly.
Okay.
I mean, even immigration attorneys and companies and HR departments and individuals are all trying to figure this out on the fly from last night to today,
Okay.
right?
Sure.
I don't think government officials at CBP and DOS and everything else are going to be able to understand what's going on with this. So it's not about that. It's about, individuals being cautious on travel and all of that. And that's where, we're all taking a cautious stand on this.
Okay. As a consumer, morally myself, I have a group. People are sharing about this is what so and so lawyer posted on Twitter. This is what they posted on Instagram. What is happening on the immigration attorney side on the back end that we are not seeing? Do you have a channel that you talk among yourself in like Ayla, or is there a private WhatsApp chat you are using? So what's happening on your back end?
Yeah, chaos is happening on our back end. Just like it's immigration attorneys and people who are going through this who are not immigration attorneys, the immigrants and everything else. It's chaos. Yeah, we have the only knowledge we have is understanding like what the administration is trying to achieve with this. And I think what the administration is trying to achieve with this is because they did it for 1 year, right? This is for 1 year. I think they're trying to reduce the numbers of people coming from outside in the H-1B lottery. And I think that's what they're trying to do. And the executive order was not written well. But I think that's what they're trying to do. I don't think they're trying to impact the people who are already here
It
on
is
H-1B.
similar to, is it similar to a travel ban that Trump administration had on the first term, but focused for H-1B visa workers?
And I honestly don't even think it's a travel ban for people who are already here with H-1B visas, stamps, and things like that. Again, that's what I think. But I think people need to be cautious. Like I'm advising our clients who have H-1B workers here, do not travel until we know more about all of this.
Okay.
Uh, I think they're trying to reduce the lottery numbers, is what I think. We'll
Okay.
see. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, let's take a few questions. Will the new rule impact ongoing H-1B extension, which is pending with USCIS? I'm currently in the US.
All right. I'm going to give another disclaimer here, which is there is no new rule on all of this, right? So Congress hasn't really amended anything. Congress hasn't been involved in any of this. However, my answer would be extensions, amendments, transfers, all of those things should not be impacted by this.
Okay. Because as soon as the signing happened yesterday, the immediate impact looked like 100K H-1B fees per year per person blanket. That was the initial impression. And slowly, as
Yeah.
we peel the layers of onions, now, at least from today afternoon, as you're suggesting, current renewals is not an issue, not going to be an
No,
issue.
no issues. Yep.
Okay.
Correct.
Another question from SK. What should a student on initial OPT do at this moment? What kind of conversation should I be having with my H-1B sponsor? I'm working for a non-profit institution, so probably I'll fall under cap exempt H-1B.
You should be okay on all of this. That 100K should not apply to you. Again, going back, this is for people coming into the US for the first time. Whether it's the second time or third time, we don't know about that yet, but you should be okay.
Okay. Another question from RD. I'm recently impacted by a layoff last month. Now I'm middle of the interviews with a potentially joining a new employer. I have an approved I-140. Will the H-1B transfer process impact me?
The 100K, there are two different questions there, but we're talking about the 100K piece.
100K please.
Should not apply to you.
Okay. I have H-1B till 2027, currently in the US. I was planning to go to India for stamping this month. I do have an appointment in Delhi, Chennai. I have flight tickets. What are the next steps?
Uh, all right. we'll have more information on that piece of it. I don't think this applies to you, but we don't know. Like I said earlier on in this conversation, I would put a hold on that. Our advice to anybody on H-1B status right now who are in the US is put a hold on all travel until we get more information on how this is going to be interpreted. My interpretation, I think, so far is going to be is for new H-1s for people who are coming in to the US.
Okay. What about people with B1, B2, L1, L2, dependents, F2 OPT, F1? Can they continue with their travel plans smoothly, or do they have to rethink, just like H1B visa folks?
This does not impact any of those. So I would say just do what you have to do on all of that stuff. I think what's going to end up happening is L1s and O1s and other types of visa statuses are going to probably increase because of the perception of what's happening with the H-1B program.
Mhm.
And different conversation, but I would say just continue with what you're doing with those types of statuses.
Okay. I'm traveling outside USA after 3 to 4 days. I have valid stamp on the passport till next year. Is the advice that I leave USA? I already have big vacation planned. Vacation is probably going to be
Not
delayed for
happen.
sure.
Uh,
Yeah.
I would say, again, all these questions are related to travel. Anybody who's here on H-1B status, just don't jump the gun on anything for the next 3 to 4 days. There'll be more clarity on who this really applies to, who are already here, who wants to travel, who already have H-1B visa stamps and things like that. So just don't do anything for the next 3 to 4 days. There'll be more clarity on this. And that's all I could say to
Okay.
that group.
Both H4 as well. H1B and H4.
And H4 should be okay, but I would still for the next 3 to 4 days,
Stay
everybody
put.
just stay put.
Yeah, stay put.
Exactly. Stay
All
put.
right.
Yeah.
Another interesting question.
Mhm.
If the person clears US immigration port of entry in Abu
Yeah.
Dhabi before 12:01 a.m. deadline, would they be still admitted to the US? There is no other context to it. Assuming they are not the first time coming into the US or they are renewals, what's the scenario there?
Well, it's a port of entry. I've gotten those calls too, earlier. I mean, it's like it's a port of entry. So if you do it before this, goes into effect on 12/01 or, on the 21st, legally, you should be fine. Now, if a port of entry officer decides to hold it, and depending on the timing and things like that, there are a lot of different issues, but it should be okay.
Okay. If someone is in the airport planning to board the flight, say in London or Europe or somewhere in India, should they get on the plane to come here or wait few days?
And that's the problem with all of this is that the dynamics of people traveling and all the travel plans and everything else is that the only thing that attorneys can say right now, from a cautious standpoint, is just wait.
Okay.
From an interpretation standpoint, but if someone decides to make that trip to the US who has a valid visa stamp and everything else, I,
Let
I
us know what happens.
yeah, let us know what happened. I probably think it might be okay, but let us know what happens. But everybody else, I would say, who can stay, outside the US, who are already outside the US for 3 4 days, just caution is better
Okay.
on all of this.
I saw somebody posted a video, Murali,
Yeah.
in Emirates in Dubai. Not sure if the plane is going to take off or not because there were a lot of H-1B visa holders in the plane. And looks like the captain made an announcement about the law that was signed, and they are not sure what to do, and they are in the middle of their journey. So it's kind of challenging for them as well.
It's challenging for everybody involved in this.
All right. So before we continue on this 100K topic,
Mhm.
there was another proclamation that was signed,
Yes.
and people are still not talking about that.
Yeah.
which is replacing EB1 and EB2 with the Trump Gold Card.
Yeah.
So could you tell more about that? Does that mean that EB1, EB2 is completely gone? And what is the scoop on that one, Murali?
All right. So as a lot of things happen with the administration, they put things out. How it goes and how it doesn't go, who knows? But here's what that proclamation basically says. So EB1, extraordinary ability and all of those, and EB2 national interest waiver. What they are saying is that they're going to suspend those, potentially, look like, Commerce Secretary came out and said, we're going to look at this and suspend it within the next 60 days or 90 days or whatever it is, um, and replace it with the $1 million gold card. So if you have $1 million, according to them, the you're considered to be exceptional or in the U.S. national interest because you have money. And that is a possibility according to this, executive order. Um, and that's and then if you're a company and you have a worker and you want to sponsor them for a green card, you pay $2 million. Now, the uncertainty is what happens with the other categories in EB2 and then EB3. It doesn't address that. So it seems the way we're reading it and others are reading it is that it's hitting the extraordinary ability, national interest waiver types of categories and saying, okay, we're going to suspend those at some point soon, I guess. And then you have to do it $1 million to get a green card that way. That's the bigger story that no one's talking about and the impact on green cards. So if you're like Raghu, if you're like you know, a a non-rich super genius researcher like in India or China or Russia or somewhere, in the world, UK, wherever, and you would qualify for a national interest waiver or extraordinary ability in the future, and you just don't have the money for $1 million, but you would have got the green card anyway, the other way. What are you going to do? I
Okay.
think there's a branding issue here. Anyway, go ahead.
So does this have to go through a rulemaking process or Congress have to approve this? How can, by a signature, EB1 and EB2 can be
They
replaced
can't do
by
that.
gold
Yeah,
card?
they can't do that. And so there's the immigration system has to be run by Congress for the most part. President can do little things, but they can't completely change the EB program and say we're going to eliminate this and that in the this that's based on the INA. That has to go through Congress. So that's a much bigger issue right now, and it's going to get litigated, and Congress is going to, hopefully step in on this. Um, I don't think that's going to, go into effect anytime soon.
Okay. And this gold card, like EB5, do you get your money back or you're giving $1 million to the US government?
You're giving $1 million to the US government, and that's it.
That,
And the irony of all of this is with the EB5 program, the business that you're investing in has to create 10 jobs, for US citizens and green card holders, etc. This is just giving $1 million to the US government to get permanent residency, and then it's a huge mess.
okay. The platinum card, 5 million.
5 million.
And you don't get to pay income taxes
That's right.
or the US income.
For 270 days.
70 days. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Sounds good, Morley.
Yep.
So, Mahesh, do you have a question for Attorney Murali? I'm going to let you come in to speak and ask a question. I wasn't sure if you had a question or you had raised your hand without knowing that I'm going to let you in. So let me. You there, Magesh? You have.
Yes, I'm here, Raghu, and I really appreciate you giving me a chance. But in the beginning only, Attorney Murali has answered the questions as my extension is in progress, and it's I have a receipt of filed in April 21st April 2025. So I'm awaiting that decision. So I just wanted to make sure that my extension is safe in this case. But according to Attorney Murali, it seems like. It is. So yeah, I'm really satisfied with this session, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank you and Attorney Murli. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it,
You're
Magesh.
welcome.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you. Akila, what's your question? You're up next.
Hi. So I am an OPT student currently, and I finished my master's in USA itself, and I'm currently working here on my F1 visa. So how would this impact my H-1B lottery coming up in 2026? So does my employer have to pay $100K to be able to put me in the lottery and file my H-1B, or how does this work?
Yeah. So if you're doing a change of status in the US in the lottery from H1 to from F1 to H1,
Mhm.
according to this, that 100K would not apply to your situation. So you should be okay.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks for that.
Thank you, Akila. Hi, Renia. Renia. Hopefully, I got your name right.
Hello.
Hi, what's your question?
I appreciate you guys giving me a chance. I have a couple of questions. I have a few employees that are renewal. They're going for stamping. They have their extension. Everything is good. They already went for their biometrics, but their interview is in a few days. What do we do?
Are
I'm leery. I mean, I feel like it's a chance if we send them, obviously. But do you think really they're gonna give the harsh time this week itself?
All right, so here's my answer to that. So you're saying these are extension applications or new ones?
They're new. They've been in the U.S. for a long time, so they're extensions. They left to India and now they're visiting or whatever. They did the biometrics. They need to get stamped to come back.
Okay, so there's no choice at this point. In our opinion, I would say, like I said, there's a lot of uncertainty with pieces of this. Let them go and go for it is what I would say because I don't think this is going to apply to that situation. So you already have an approved petition, and these are extension applications. But
Correct.
I don't think that's going to be an issue. But again, the way all of this is written, and it's so new from last night, right? And so I would say let them go, see what happens, and then report back to us on this because the only way we're going to know how far the government is taking this and how it's really going to apply is through examples. And
Right.
but in your situation with your employees, I'm not going to sit here and say since they're already outside the US, right?
Right. They've been out there for a few weeks. Again,
Right.
they did biometrics. One of them is on Monday, and the other one I think is on Wednesday.
Let them go. Let them go and do it like nothing has changed for them. And whatever happens, let us know if you can, you
Of
know.
course.
All right.
Uh,
That's my
so,
I
so
have one more question, if you don't mind.
sure, Rene, please go on. I will have a follow-up question to Attorney after your question.
So that was one. The next one is we have okay, so we have that situation. Now I have two guys that are already outside of the US. They did not require stamping. They've been part of us for a long time, obviously. They have a valid visa, valid stamp, but they were unable to return per the request, the timeline. So do we think they're okay to come back Wednesday, Thursday? I mean, I feel like they are, and I want them to take that chance. But my concern would be I'm scared if they go and do that and customs shoots them down and they get some kind of refusal or something that can hurt them in the future or any other chance to come back, hopefully when this gets overturned.
what kind of visas are they on H-1Bs?
Yes.
But you're saying, but they have valid visa stamps, right?
Yes, but the way that it seems that this is written,
Yeah,
right,
I
is that
know.
anybody should travel back immediately.
Right. And who can really travel back immediately between last night and 12:01 tomorrow? So the problem is that, like I said earlier, our advice is if you can stay outside the US until there's further clarification on that part of it, it's better. If someone says, okay, I've got a valid H-1B petition, I-797, and I've got a valid H-1B visa stamp, and I have to come back to the US, and I don't can't delay it, there's a pretty decent chance it'll probably be okay, but we also don't know the instructions the government's giving to the CBP officers and all of those types of things.
And we don't know if they're going to say no, in what way. Are
Right.
they going to ask them to withdraw their petition to?
Or
Well,
cancel
see,
the
and
stamp or
that
cancel the
becomes my fear, right?
yeah.
That I'm worried that if they go now and chance it, that they put some mark against them, whether it's a refusal or a denial or something, that could then hurt them to come back within the near future.
I would if they cannot chance, I would tell them not to chance it at least for the next 3, 4 days,
So there are
5
two
days.
pieces here,
Yeah.
Murli. One is
But,
visa interview appointment on Monday.
yeah.
Another one is entering the US after 12:01 on 21st.
Yeah.
So which is going to be less damaging if there is going to be negative impact? So visa refusal, but that could be overcome with this instance, pay 100. But how will CBP let them not enter? What is the procedure they have that they will not impact?
Again, immigration attorneys are guessing on all these things right now. I think the impact between the two is greater at the CBP coming into the US because if they don't know what they're doing, they could cancel the H-1B visa stamp. And that's hard. Then they have to go back and get a visa stamp and everything else. I think having the visa stamp is valuable right now. And I think having the visa stamp will probably be okay, for H-1B folks traveling. Again, we need clarity on all of this coming up. So I would say, Renee, if they can just not do that coming into the US right now and just wait and see, that's the better approach um, if that's possible. That's my advice right now.
All right. Thank you, Renee. So we'll take a few more questions. A lot of questions, Murli. Lord, I'm trying to figure out which one to ask. People who are on day one CPT, do they have to be worried something like this is going to come towards their way?
Well, the Trump administration does something every 2 days on immigration, so yes. But we don't know. I mean, we don't have anything in the pipeline that we've heard about on these things, but just like this $100,000 piece, that news kind of got leaked a day before it actually happened. All we've heard about is the H-1B program changing, to a salary-based system versus a lottery-based system. We've heard about that for a little while, but then what they did now came out of the blue. And so who knows what else they're going to do out of the blue, and hopefully not anything.
Okay. Earlier in this conversation, Murli, you said
Yeah.
Trump administration 1.0 and this administration is very different. So could you tell what, as an attorney, what are the nuances of what does that difference mean?
Okay, so Trump, 1.0, the biggest change there was the RFEs, honestly. I mean, the RFEs increased dramatically on every single case. Even the best cases in the world under any other administration that would have gotten approved, it increased. So it was an administrative burden on, individuals, companies, law firms, to deal with that. That's how they dealt with immigration in Trump 1.0. this Trump administration so far, even though it's been only 8 months or something, it feels like 18 months, but they're, on the employment side, we haven't seen a major shift until this. And so they've really been focusing on illegal immigration, and all the talk is illegal immigration and things like that. And that's a different conversation, but this is the first time we're actually really seeing the RFEs, in our opinion, haven't really increased dramatically. They're starting to increase like in national interest waiver and extraordinary ability and things like that in those categories on the green card slowly. But on the H1s and L1s, slightly, but not as much as it did under the first administration. And this is the big one. This is
Okay.
the shift on that.
Do I have to worry about traveling within the US domestically?
No.
Okay, let's. Hi, Daksh, you are up next, followed by Nicole.
Hi. Hi.
Hi, Daksh, what's your question?
Hi, Raghu. Attorney Murali, thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. My main question is I got picked in this year's lottery. I'm in London. I got my visa stamp. And as it's the 10-day rule, my validity starts from tomorrow to enter the US. And the proclamation states that the ban also starts from tomorrow. And my flight was on 22nd. So what I should be doing in this case?
You're in the gray zone
Yeah.
on all of this,
Yes.
which is a really, unfortunately, a bad spot to be in, which goes back to some of the conversations we just recently had,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
With Renee and
Yeah.
her employees. I would wait.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this to everybody, even though I don't think this applies to people like you, who already have the visa stamp. I really don't. But we don't know for sure on this. And that's just me being honest. I think.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of firms are saying the same thing, which is I think the American Immigration Lawyers Association is saying the same thing, which is
Yeah.
play it cautious. And I'm not saying wait, 2 months or whatever. There'll be more clarity on this in the next few days. This is brand new. And, administrations like, throwing these things out on a Friday evening or Friday night, and that they do it because nobody has time to react on a weekend to this. It's just like Raghu and I could do a webinar on this for all of you,
Right.
but on a Saturday, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
So
And they chose the date for new H-1Bs, like tomorrow everybody's 10-day rule starts and they'll be in chaos as me. But I appreciate the answer. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
I hope that helps. Yep.
Thank you, Daksh.
Thank you.
Hey, Nicole.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much, Attorney, for this session. Okay, so my question is, I got selected in the H-1B and was approved this year, and I got the I-797A, which means that I don't have to go outside to get it stamped, so it's an automatic change of status.
Yeah.
So my first question is, given that it's a new, would that be considered a new case? Does it affect it?
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
you're okay since it's a change of status.
Mm-hmm.
And all I tell you is just don't travel outside the US right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then my second question is on the $1 million for in exchange for green card. Does that also relate to when companies are applying for the perm for their employees from like H-1B to green card? Is that associated with it at all?
All right. Good question. Goes back to what we're talking about now, the other piece of it. So what the government's supposed to do is come up with the specifics of how they're going to do this within the next 90 days, I believe, on the $1 million piece.
Mm-hmm.
And all we know on the $1 million piece is if an individual wants to get a green card and they can pay $1 million and do it. Now, we don't know the specifics of that because that hasn't been released yet. Because
Mhm.
they're saying $1 million from an individual who was extraordinary ability or national interest and all of that. So we don't know what they have to prove in addition to the $1 million, or is it just $1 million? And then they also say a company can pay $2 million for an employee and get a green card instead of going through the entire regular green card sponsorship process.
Mm,
This is all like wait and see.
okay.
I think the government is going to try to do something like that, but like Raghu and I said earlier, I think there's going to be a lot of litigation on the green card piece of it, also on the H-1B piece of it too, but on the green card piece of it, especially because I don't see how the executive branch can completely rewrite,
Right.
that without Congress being involved. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a big mess, honestly.
Okay. So what I'm understanding by your answer is it's uncertain for now if employers want to sponsor green card for their employees and get caught in all of this web.
No, what I'm saying is with the new $1 million, $2 million, all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that's uncertain and how that's going to
Okay.
be played out. I think employers, should do exactly what they wanted to do in the first place with
Mm-hmm.
employees regarding immigration and green card sponsorship and everything else.
Yeah.
Continue with it as if nothing has changed. That's
Okay.
my advice to every employer on this call right now.
Thank you. And then my last question is, I know this rule for the 100K is expires in a year.
Yeah.
What is the possibility that it renews or it just ends there after a year?
That's a question I can't answer. And so there's a dynamics piece of this, there's a political piece of this that only the Trump administration and the individuals who are around him could really know what's going to happen with that. And or the people who are around him, Tim Cook, and Elon Musk and all those, Zuckerberg and all those people who are around him, who obviously their companies have a lot of H-1Bs and everything else and green cards.
Right.
Only those people will know, what the purpose of all of this is.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, at least the good thing is it doesn't apply. And just, I say the positive to help, alleviate some of the tension and
Right.
anxiety people have. At least the positive in this is it doesn't apply to people who are already here
Mm-hmm.
and who have already approved H-1Bs and things like that. So, or the F1 students are going to go through the lottery who are already here. Those are the good things out of,
Yeah.
yeah. I know
I'm
what they're
sorry.
I know what they're trying to do. It's
Mm.
just we have to get more clarity on how they
Yeah.
implement it, right?
Yeah. Okay, so this is my final question. So, what about employers who, for example, they have, they know about the situation and then they talk to their, employees who know about the situation, talk to their employer to transfer them to like an intra-company transfer out of the country so that they can come back to the US on an L1 so they can get affected by the H-1B and possibly the $1 million green card exchange. What do you think about that?
That whole strategy is not new. That's been happening anyway because it's so hard to get selected in the lottery no matter what over the last number of years, as Raghu and I've talked about in other webinars. But if that's a good strategy for the employee in the company, then that's a strong conversation to have, in our opinion,
Mhm.
because that's an alternate path to achieving a goal, and
Okay.
it's a good one. But so I would have that anyway if you think you want to do that, even outside of this executive order on the $100,000 and things like that. But I think everyone
Okay.
needs to focus on what's the best immigration strategy for them. This is limited. There are other good strategies too outside of H-1Bs and everything else.
All right.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Question from the chat. What about the daily commuters from the bordering cities? Would you recommend to even for them to wait before entering, say, from Canada into Detroit for their work?
I wouldn't change that. But again, don't change. I wouldn't say don't change it, but be aware that, if a port of entry officer says something, that you should be able to answer, that.
Please do come back and share with us the person who asked that question.
Correct.
I
Good
just,
question.
what's your question?
Hi, thank you, Attorney Murali and Raghu, for taking this time to answer our queries. My question is in line with the $1 million green card exchange. I have an I-140 approved under EB2 NIW last year. Does this proclamation affect already issued or approved I-140 under EB2 NIW, or is it just the new EB2, EB1 applications?
Good question. There are a lot of people asking that. I have an approved I-140 on EB1, EB2. Are they going to scrap that? Do I have to restart or so along the same lines, Murali?
We don't know yet on that, but I'm going to give you my guess on this, which is I would be very, very surprised if they scrap everybody who's been approved, for NIWs and EB1As and Bs and things like that right now. I would be very surprised. I don't think that's going to happen, but again, I can't guarantee it. We'll know within the next 90 days or so how that's all going to play out. My guess is if they're really going to go through with this, which is scrapping those categories for the $1 million, it would be moving forward, not moving backwards.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jasprit. Hi, Mehul. Mehul and JK, you both are up next. First, let's go with Mehul.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for this opportunity. I have a question. So I came here on F1 and then
Hold on, JK. Mehul, go on, please.
yeah,
I can't hear Mehul, Raghu.
Can you speak up, Mehul? Your voice is a bit feeble.
yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, please try.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. So I came here on F1 and then I got my H-1B. Currently my H-1B is under extension right now. So does this 100K rule impact me? That is the first part of my question. And second part is, let's say if I have to travel to India next year for some family emergency or something like that, I need to appear for the visa stamping, right? So when I re-enter in US, does that 100K rule impact me that time? That's like my question.
Yeah. And so, Mehul, so with that question, again, just to address everyone's question related to that question, it should not. However, we don't know on that. Now, it doesn't impact your extension in the US, and it probably won't impact your visa stamping since you already have an approved petition and you're already in the US. I'm making my own, informed guess on all of this and what the administration is trying to do. But at the same time, I can't answer that visa stamping question right now. Right now, just you're fine. We'll know more in probably a week, so just you're fine for now, which is a good thing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mehul. VA, what's your question? Hi, Martina. If you're able to speak up, you can go next.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, VA, please go on.
So I have a bridge petition, which is pending right now after my old H-1B visa became inactive. So I have I-140 approval as well. So if in case by worst case scenario, if I'm asked to do a consular processing in the future, would this proclamation affect my case?
Again, possibly, but I don't think so. And so
Okay.
I actually really think this is going to apply. I think they're trying to limit the lottery piece of it for
Okay.
new, petitions for people outside the US.
Mhm.
I don't think they're trying to impact people in the US. But again, we just don't know that. It's just too
But
new. And
got
that's
it.
all I could say about it at this point.
But the problem is right now I'm on the authorized stay, and if in case I have never been to India for stamping before, I've been here for the past 7 years, so I'm just curious about the scenario. If in case they have asked me to go to do consular processing, would this affect my situation? So that's why I'm just confused.
It may or may not. I mean,
Hmm.
we just don't know that in your scenario because
Just have to wait and
you're not a new petition, but at the same time you have to leave. So it may, but we'll see.
Okay. But I'm on the CapEx category, so I just need to know if there's any perks for that too.
It may be. And
Mhm.
the thing is, there's a lot we can't answer some of these questions simply because this is such a new thing that was dropped without any advance notice on all of it. And I don't think it will apply to you is the best answer I can give right
Got
now.
it. Got it.
all right. Thank you, Via.
Thank
So before going to Martina, a question from Nandini. What does current proclamation mean for next year H-1B lottery? Is the administration trying to get rid of the lottery together and try to make it more compensation based aligned?
They're definitely going to make it a little bit more compensation based because a part of this is also them changing the prevailing wages. So I guess somebody at the administration decided, because all we heard, and everybody else is that they're going to make it a wage-based system, right? And the highest wages with the best jobs and everything else are the ones who are going to get selected first. So that is really not a lottery. It's not random anymore, right? That's all we've heard. So now what they've done is this, and said, all right, in addition to the $100,000 for new H-1s for people outside the US, they've instructed, the DOL to revise the prevailing wages. Now, the prevailing wages are already very too high, but in our opinion, but it might go higher, which will then reduce the number of companies who can actually pay that. And so they're using two different ways to reduce the number of applications in next year's lottery. And that's exactly what we're seeing. But the problem is when they revise the wages, it doesn't just apply to the lottery cases, it'll apply to extensions, amendments, transfers, and everything else. So there is going to be an effect on all of these cases and what companies can and cannot pay. And we're just going to have to see, what those numbers look like.
Sounds good, Murli. Hi, Martina. Are you able to unmute and ask your question? Hi, Jimmet. Can you also try? Either one of you, whoever goes first. Okay, no response from Martina.
I'm ready. Can you hear me?
Yeah, please go on, Jimmet. What's your question?
Hey, thank you for your time. Hello, Raghu. Hello, Attorney Murali. Um, I'm I'm inside the US. I got my 797A already working. For any emergency, if I go to India, and if I have to go for stamping because my previous stamp I had is expired this year. So if I go India, I get my 797 and I have to go for a consular processing because the interview waiver is already gone. So if I go for the consular processing, does my employer have to pay that 100K or what would it be?
I think the 100,000 is for any new petition. So, and again, like I said earlier, I'm making an educated guess on some of these things as other attorneys are doing around the country as well.
Murli, so this came an hour ago from Rapid Response 47. I think it's from the White House. So what they're saying is proclamation does not apply to anyone who
Yeah, that's what I think.
has
You know,
current
so-
visa. Proclamation does not impact the ability of any current visa holder to
right.
travel to from the US.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
wait.
Mhm.
That's what we're saying too. But is that official? You
It,
know,
from White House's from White House.
okay, this is from the White House. Okay, so if that's the case, then anybody who actually has a visa stamp and an approved petition already should be okay.
Let
Okay.
me share the this is the official page. Official White House rapid response account supporting porters. So it's from whitehouse.gov. In
Okay.
Twitter, scrolling down, and this is where I see the message, Murali. I think just came an hour ago.
Well, then they should have written the proclamation better to actually address these things, right?
Yep. So this pretty much
It clarifies all of it. Yeah.
most of
Yeah.
the questions that people are having right now. So future applicants in February
The lottery. Yep.
are currently outside the US does not apply to anyone who participated in 2025 lottery as well. So pretty much it is a whole lot of no
Okay.
impact for the current folks.
All right. So some of the uncertainty we're talking about, if this is official, then should be fine.
Sounds good. So rapid response, official White House account, you are wh.gov. And I'm not sure if somebody could be faking this one. So looks legitimate with all right.
As
Sound
long as that's legit, it should be okay.
okay.
And again, like we're saying, I think that's the case. I think that's what they're trying to achieve,
Yeah.
which is just the lottery cases. I think that's what they're trying to do, which is what we're talking about the whole time.
Yep.
Now, all right, there you go.
Yeah. So that pretty much cuts shorts a lot of the questions of uncertainty is removed. So you guys can take it easy, but at least be sure that we do not want the airlines to be creating any mess. This message has to reach the check-in counters.
Correct.
It has to
Yeah.
because they should not say, "Hey, no, this is the news. We can't let you on." So all those things has to probably take. So probably it's going to take a few days for this news to go to all the places, Murli.
Yeah, and I'd want to get confirmation from American Immigration Lawyers Association on this
Sure, sounds good.
and
So
all of
please
that.
let me know, Murli, when you get that confirmation. I will also pass it on to this group and all the happy schools.
But to me, that makes sense. That's what I think is the case. So it makes sense to me.
Okay, all right. So what that says is, if you want to go travel, get visa stamping, yes, you can. It's the next year lottery who is impacted. So which means stamping, H-4 travels, coming back in, it's all taken care. There's no 100K with renewals, transfers, extensions.
Correct. We
Okay.
already talked about that. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, folks, if you have any questions unrelated to this, we can also talk about that. I know there is a lot of folks who have raised your hand, but if you have questions unrelated to this one, please you can lower your hand and I'll give opportunity for others to speak up and ask. Let's see. So a lot of questions relevant to this one, Murli. Important. Got like 70 questions, so I'm just sorting through three. If there is anything else,
No worries, Raghu. Take your time. I'm just gonna see if there's anything posted on Ayla on this real quick.
okay. Can you do a webinar next week to discuss the updates of
I
what
can.
happened?
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna suggest that because I think next 4 or 5 days we'll have clarity on all of this.
Okay. How is this gold card situation going to impact my I-140? I think we answered that. We have to wait and see how that's going to happen. Because I think when I read the proclamation yesterday about gold card, it looked replacing EB2 and a fast track. So how could you replace EB2 and fast track it because EB2 is backlogged for India? And then I saw 1 million gift. Easy way to get rid of the debt ceiling debt, but I'm not sure how many. Another thinking about it, talking about it, Murali,
Yeah.
if they replace EB1 and EB2 with gold card, I'm not sure if there are enough people to use the cap for that, and which will spill over into EB3. That's my guess. If in case that, what do you think?
I think the whole green card piece is gonna have to go through Congress,
Okay.
honestly. And that's a different animal.
Okay.
on this. Yeah.
China travel, thanks for doing this session. Expecting any changes to the, are we expecting any changes to the EB-5 program?
Well, remember, the first $5 million gold card was supposed to replace the EB-5 program. Hasn't happened yet. We don't know. That's my honest answer.
Okay.
That piece of it.
Do you have any insights about salary-based H-1B selections? Is it making progress in the rule-making process? Where are we with that?
There's nothing on that that's concrete that anybody knows right now, other than just talk on it.
Okay.
So, other than in this border about them revising the prevailing wages and things like that, that could make it. We'll see.
Okay. Hi, Aniket. Do you have any questions that we have not clarified yet so far? Or Pradeep, any one of you? Santosh?
Yeah, hi, this is Pradeep. I just wanted to ask, like, if the new salary-based selection for H-1B, will it be field-wise or would it be absolute salaries? Currently, they do the LCA wages based on like different fields and positions. Are they just trying to get rid of that to make it like an absolute salary scale?
That's a work in progress right now because, like I said, they're saying they're authorizing the government to revise the salary scale on all of this. The salary scale is already high. I mean, compared to like everything. But if they make it even higher, then maybe they're going to say only the highest ones get selected in the lottery. We don't know. They haven't given any specifics on any of that yet. And there's a lot of like a lot of this. There's not very specific details on things. And, from an attorney standpoint, we want details before we can advise people on what they can and cannot do, but we're making guesses on this right now.
So one very quick follow-up on that. Does that also apply on cap exempt H-1Bs?
The prevailing wages, if they change it, which they probably will, would impact cap exempt as well.
I see. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Aniket. Pradeep, did you have a question?
I already did.
Oh, okay, you did. Okay. Hi, Aniket.
Yeah, hi. Thank you. What I wanted to ask is like I have my I-129 and I-797 approved just a month ago, and the start date is October 1st. Now, if this comes in act on, let's say, September 22nd, if I were to change the jobs, they would need to give a new petition. Does that mean this applies to me, or I'm still covered?
Yeah, you're
not
covered on that. You're covered on that.
even if the new petition goes out, right?
Should be.
Okay. Thank you.
Rohit and Rutul, you guys have any questions?
Yes, the question I had was kind of unrelated to this, but just in light of there being a lot more scrutiny, unfortunately, I have an inadvertent overstay from an H-1B back in 2020, I guess 2021 rather. Basically, what happened was that I came into the country, my passport was expiring. Instead of giving me an H-1B or an I-94 validity through the end of the H-1B, they gave it through the end of the passport validation. So then we applied for a renewal. We asked them to do a pro nunc tunc. They just declined to do that, but they did approve the H-1B as a consular notification. At which point I went to India, got it, applied in India, got the H-1B. They did keep the passport for 10 days under Section 221G, I think.
Yeah.
Through Administrative Action 221G.
Yeah.
I guess the question I really have is, all of that was fine, all of that was approved. In this administration, given that they are being a lot stricter about overstays or really any other type of violation, if I go in for a new H-1B petition, again, I have a new H-1B petition with the new employer. It's been approved. It's not a consular notification. It was a change of status from H-4 to H-1B. But when I go to India to get a stamp, is that something I should be concerned about?
Legally, based on what you're saying, no. And here's the thing about it. I think I said this earlier in the conversation as well. We have lots of clients, and so far people haven't had issues with H-1B stamping and things like that. As long as you don't have any criminal issues, of course, nothing's guaranteed. I mean, nobody can guarantee anything, but it doesn't sound like you violated your status that long, and
Yeah,
it looks like you fixed it, right?
right.
Because the whole passport stuff and everything else that happens. We've seen it, a lot with passport expirations. I think you'll probably be okay. Can't guarantee it, but we've seen people in similar situations where it's been okay so far.
Got it. And then a follow-up question, if you don't mind. My wife has her H-1B as well. She is also considering going to India, getting a new stamp. Her challenge is that she has a denied F1 visa from back in the day, from like 2-3 years ago. She was on H-4. She tried to come back on F1 just to have her own status, and they denied that. Now she has an H-1B. She's been working on it for 2 years, but she has not traveled outside of the country. Is that an issue coming back, or again getting the H-1B visa stamped?
That question I can't answer on a webinar like this. She either has to speak to her immigration attorney and because they have all the facts, or she needs to contact me so I can have a different conversation with her, get all the facts, and give her the pros and cons of everything. It's not a yes or no
Yeah,
answer.
got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rohit. Let's do Rutul. You got a question? If not, Rutul, hi, Karthik. You should be able to unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity. So my question is for my friend. She is having her H-1B already stamped, and it's expiring August 2026. They initiated the perm process back in April 2025 with the prevailing wages determination. And till now, there's no response. Time is running out. Next year, she's ending her H-1, 6-year H-1 basically. So with this situation, with all the things that's happening right now, what should she anticipate? She has around 5 months of recapture days. What is it looking like really, realistically speaking, at this point?
Karthik, that's an extremely strategic, complicated question that we spend a lot of time with our clients on figuring out what's the best approach on things like that.
It's not a question for a public setting.
It's not. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
probably you
Thank
can
you.
reach out to Attorney Murali directly for one-on-one consultation.
We'll do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. So Murali, there is an interesting question for next year lottery.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm on STEM OPT, which will start in February 25 and apply for H-1B next year. And let's say I get picked in the lottery.
Mhm.
Travel to India after getting picked in the lottery and re-enter, would I still be okay, or would I fall under the 100K scenario? Because I'm coming from outside in terms of H-1B for this proclamation. But it's an interesting question.
I would say right now, at half a day after this proclamation, I would say don't travel right now. In a week, 2 weeks, I might have a different answer to that.
Okay.
But I would say no.
Yeah, we do not know
Yeah.
how does this change
Right.
because within 48 hours, 24 hours, we are gone from blanket 100K fees to just the lottery. So
Right. Exactly.
the scope has come down. So we will know more about it as we get more clarifications from the White House.
And I always thought it was targeted towards the lottery, but nobody knew, right? Including us. So
Okay, all right. Martina, are you able to speak up now? I saw you had an emergency-based question, so I want to give you another option.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I am right now in the middle of a family emergency. I have my family member admitted in the hospital, and I was back in India. I was thinking of traveling if, God forbid, situation arises. And I have my H-1B valid. It is an H-1B extension that's valid through 2028, but I don't have a current stamping. Do what would be your advice? I was thinking if when coming back, I would apply for a emergency stamping with all the medical proof and getting a letter from an employer. But
So I think she doesn't have a stamp on the passport.
Yeah.
Are you already in India, Martina, or where?
no, I'm currently in the US
Okay.
right
If in
now.
case, I think she has to travel without stamp. Can she get an emergency appointment? Because appointment waiting times are long. We can't go to anywhere else.
Only thing to do about that, Martina, is just email the consulate with, compelling circumstances of why you need something quicker
Mm-hmm.
and see what they say. And it's tough to get those things moved up, I can tell you that, but every once in a while it happens, but all you can do is try.
And in that case, even would the 100K situation apply? Even if I get an
I
emergency?
don't think that's going to apply to you. You're already on H-1B status.
Okay.
Okay.
And the other question I had is like, I'm already consulting a couple of lawyers and trying to do my own research about EB2 and IW. With this whole thing, should I wait on starting the process or?
No. Anybody who has any EB1 extraordinary ability, outstanding researcher, NIW, things like that, uh, if you have a good case and you want to start it, do it. And I wouldn't take this to tell you to stop doing that or anything. Just go ahead and do what you were going to do anyway. And that's my advice.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank you. Thank
Martina.
you for the opportunity.
Hopefully everything works out for you back home.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So, Murali, let's do a couple of questions from the chat and then a couple from the through microphone. Right. And then we will wrap this up. Shruti, Shruti, what's your question? And Vinod, I just picked both of you. Either one of you can unmute and go first.
Hey, thanks. This is Vinod. Thanks, attorney. So I am in India, and before this, I travel just day before yesterday, and my stamping is my interview is scheduled on 26 September. So as you right now just clear that from this White House, right? We got that it is not applicable for H1. So I'm good, I think, with that response. But just one question I have, attorney, is like, is there any specific thing on the interview or at the consulate with this 100K? Because I have two options right now. I have approved and a stamped visa on my passport, but my passport is expired, so I have new passport as well, and I have a new petition which also I approved. So I have a visa scheduling as well. So I was thinking two options, either I can travel on my old passport with a stamped visa, or should I go with the interview and get the new stamping done?
I think it's a loaded question. So you might want to schedule a one-on-one call, Vinod, to go over the details with Attorney Murali. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you, Vinod. Thanks for trying. I know you are up at this time to attend this from India, but I think looking at the question, you might want to do a one-on-one call with Attorney Murali. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Sorry, man. Shruti, you there? Are you able to unmute? If not, let's give opportunity to Debasmita. Hello.
Hi, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes. What's your question?
Yeah, so my H-1B got completed like 6 years already passed. So I already got the H-1. I'm applying for the H-1B recapture. It already got approved. I got the I-797. I have an interview scheduled in October. My question is, how much risk do you see in the recapturing interview? Like, is there any risk when I go for the recapturing interview, given the situation?
Well, again, that's a loaded question. Even if the situation didn't happen, right? Let's say nothing happened yesterday evening, the risk is always there in any stamping situation for anybody. But if you have a clean immigration history and no criminal issues, and you're not posting, controversial stuff on social media, then you should be okay. I mean, that's what we're seeing so far on
Mhm.
this. But again, outside of that general advice, like Raghu said to the gentleman earlier, uh,
Mhm.
you might want to speak to your company's immigration attorney or to us, to get more specific advice on this.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Murali, this is from the press secretary.
Yeah.
Not an annual fee. It's a one-time fee that applies only to the petition, only to new visas, not renewals, not current visa
Yeah,
holders.
that we know. Yeah.
Yeah, so this came, I do not know, pretty recently.
Yeah, like a few minutes ago, really.
Few minutes
Yeah.
ago. Yeah. So
Right.
now we have more clarity on that one.
Yeah.
So,
It's real time, Raghu, with us, right?
yeah, real time. We are doing webinar, a lot of people joining, but
Yeah.
glad we got the clarity now so
Yeah.
people can re-enter, don't have to worry about 100K. And if that Emirates plane that I saw on the Instagram reel is stuck, hopefully they took off to come to the.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right, fantastic. Disable. I think we'll wrap up this meeting, Murali. Okay, so I
All right.
think the questions I saw was pretty repeated. So I have not seen anything new. We'll probably do a follow-up webinar
Let's do
sometime
that.
next
Yep.
week to get answers. And
Yep.
people can reach out to Attorney Murali. Go to bashamglobal.com and you'll be able to message Attorney Murali from there. Or you can go to happyschools.com and there is an ask an attorney option. You can also schedule a consulting call through Happy Schools as well. Either one of the option works. And thanks, Murali, for doing this on a Saturday. Just literally, we decided at like what 8 o'clock that we're going to do
Yeah.
this, and then we are able to give clarity for a lot of people. Hopefully, we can do another follow up and then answer more questions for them.
Do that. We got clarity from the government while we're doing all of this. So fantastic. Thanks, Raghu.
Yeah, you can all take it easy on this
Yeah,
Saturday, and then don't have to answer phone calls about what's happening. So we have a lot more clarity now.
absolutely.
All right.
Take care, everyone. Thank you. All
Thank
right.
you, everyone. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.